GovCon winners. Wow, look at that. Lights, camera, action. I have a lot to talk about, everybody. Have a lot to talk about. Government shutdown and how it impacts you. I have so much to share with you that I have my phone. I have lots of notes. I'm going to move my camera back just a little bit. If you would bear with me, thank you. One day I will have my own camera person. I won't have to deal with all of this. But until then, this is the #1 source for all federal government contracting news that impacts us, the small business owner. So, government shutdown, we're going to get into it. So, before I do, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are here. I really appreciate you all being here. Everything by John. Is the government shutting down? Maybe. As of right now, at this moment in time, it seems that it will happen. And I'm here to talk to you about what that means and how it impacts you. But first, okay, I want to talk about something else that is super important here at the Kizzy News Network. So, may be aware, may not be aware. If you are in the 8A program, you are already in it, you have been notified that you need to submit a narrative providing evidence and support of a social disadvantage, social economic disadvantage. So make sure if you are an 8A and you're watching that you are taking care of your narrative. I just interviewed a woman who goes by the name of Fab, and this will be coming out shortly on this channel. This is an exclusive with the Kizzy News Network. She wrote the narrative all on her own. She didn't pay anyone, and bam, within 48 hours, it was approved. So please be aware of that. So here's the hot news on Kizzy News Network today. And in case you're looking, you see me looking down at any point in time, it's only because I'm checking to see what the comments are, because there's so many comments coming out. I mean, listen, I had to do double roses, because while it may seem like, man, the government's shutting down, the end of the fiscal year is going on, I have all these things I need to bid on. In reality, it's still a blessing. It's still a blessing. Okay, and I'll share more. And also, Kizzy News Network, just like every other show on Kizzy channel, we support our lions. We do. Okay, so here's the deal. When the federal government shuts down, everything halts except for those people, missions, etc., deemed mission critical. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this here. I'm going to walk you through it in my little space here. I'm going to walk you through it, maybe swaying it through it. Mission critical, in essence, means that the position, the person, the entity, is so important that we need them to sustain our amazing country. So therefore, here y'all, I'm gonna move these just a little bit. Thank you for bearing with me. Therefore, the people, that organization can continue on and will receive payment. Now, imagine you have a janitorial contract and you're to clean the building once a week, once a month, once a quarter. And if this is your time to clean that building, do you think that's going to be considered mission critical? Probably not, unless it's a physical a hospital, right? Or if it's some building, for instance, there was an opportunity for Border Patrol where they needed someone to provide janitorial services, pest control services at a facility near the Canadian border, because there's a lot of attention, of course, given to the southern borders There's immigration concerns on the northern borders too. So, of course, perhaps those positions are mission critical. Otherwise, as a contractor, you receive a stop work notice. That's what happens. We've received them in the form of an email. I've been in this space for 15 years. For those of you just joining, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks, looking extra fabulous. Went to a wedding today, but I had to come on here to give you this hot news because up until now, nothing has been passed. It seems that the government is going to shut down. So, being that I've been in this space for 15 years, I have endured several government shutdowns. So this is what happens. Let me take you through this. And please post questions. Keep the comments coming. I know that they're streaming in, and I will get to those just in a second. It's Kizzy News Network. How the government shutdown impacts you, right? What does this mean for you? If you are not deemed essential, you receive a stop work notice in the form of an email, in the form of a letter. You must stop work immediately, meaning you stop work because you can't invoice. So if you're notified on a Monday, hey, you must stop work, then you stop work. You don't wait until Tuesday, you stop work. So what does stop work mean? It means you may need to furlough your team. You may have to put off the HVAC project. You may have to put off the concrete slab project. You may have just signed a contract. They're probably not going to start it. What that also means, you can't invoice and get paid. So for those of you like my flagship company where you have full-time equivalents or part-time equivalents, you're not able to invoice because the people aren't essential. You received a stop work notice, so you're not going to get any money. So are we following? Type yes if you're following with me. I'm just checking in my phone in case you're wondering what I'm digging out of my pocket. Okay. Oh, look at that. Billy. She noticed those Tiffany's. Oh, you got a good eye. And this is Zimmerman. They need to sponsor me. I love me some Zimmerman. So type yes if you're here, if you hear me, okay? If you're following along with what I just said. So I'm just, in case you're just joining, Dr. Kizzy Parks, Kizzy News Network, #1 source for all government contracting news that impacts us, the small business owner. Us. Most of us small business owners have this many this many people on our team, one. So I'm here for you, okay? I'm at the point now where I have way more than one, but I was at a place where I had one. But y'all get it. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to touch on a couple of things. Somebody asked, what is a narrative? T. Marie. A narrative is an explanation that outlines that someone has experienced social economic disadvantage that's in the 8A program. So for instance, in my narrative, now I was in the 8A program. I wrote this narrative in like 2010, 2011. So for instance, when I was in graduate school, I found out that my financial aid package was less than people who didn't look like me. I mean, by a lot of money. I think mine was half of theirs. And it wasn't based on any type of scholar or GPA or anything like that. So that was one of many things that happened. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sean. Shout out to the bride and groom. Yes. Bryce and Kelsey. And shout out to the other Kelsey who did my makeup here in Muskegon, Michigan. Shout out to her. She did an awesome job. I love her. So I'm taking a look at all the questions. Can John, WTF, can we still bid and submit? Oh, John, here at the Kizzy News Network, you know we keep it real. I'm not here to BS you. That's why I have double flowers, double roses, because despite the thorns, same as government shutdown, it's a thorn, still beautiful. The government still pays and the government will reopen, right? So the government sometimes is like a beautiful rose. Y'all, these are real too. I just got these. I love these. I love having fresh flowers here in the house. So, yes, you can still bid so long as the opportunity is still available. Yes, you can. Are they going to quickly review it and turn things around? Probably not, unless it's something that they need or the people involved are mission critical. So, does that make sense? If that's clear, type yes. Okay, awesome. If you're waiting on a cage code, will this delay it? Yes. It will delay it because is somebody working on cage codes mission essential or mission critical? I don't know. And even if they make some people mission critical, are they going to have everybody mission critical? I don't know. So let me give you an example. We have a contract. At the time when we had the contract, it was a $23 million contract. And we had almost 30 people on the contract. When the government shut down, they only made basically one person mission critical. That's it. And while this example is a government contract, imagine if we're speaking of a federal government department. So, just something to keep in mind. I'm taking a look at the other questions. Good. I'm glad this is resonating. This is getting through. We're all on the same page. Will contracts supporting our war fighters be honored and paid? Justina, I get this sense that this is kind of like a question, like a got you kind of question. So I'm going to answer it from my lens. And maybe I'm misreading you. I know I'm not, but I'm just letting you know. Here, I'm going to turn this because I want y'all to walk with me a little bit. I just feel like moving over a little bit. So I can get a little shuffle in here. So well, I mean, military members and government people may not receive their money. They may not. It all goes back to if someone's deemed mission critical. You asked a really good question, Derek, with a Y. It's based on the definition that they're using. I know it may seem like circular logic. How do you define mission critical? But then you're not giving me a definition, Kizzy. I would argue that it's a definition that each department and each agency has and is fine with using. That's how I see it. But here's what I'm going to share with you. If you want to know how to ensure when you have a federal government contract that your people are mission critical, I'm going to share that here in the Kizzy News Network. I'm going to share it right now. Okay. Shakita, I love your comment. She said it looks like the playing field is going to be leveled, reopened, so many needs where more of us can win bids. Yeah, there's going to be a lot because people are going to be like, oh my gosh, we have to spend this money. We need to buy this. There's going to be a lot of things going on. Just keep in mind, we're gearing up for an election year. So things are a little interesting, right? So let me break this down to you. This is an exclusive at the Kizzy News Network with Dr. Kizzy Parks. Been awarded over $50 million in government contracts. So here's the deal. You, as the contractor, must demonstrate that you are irreplaceable, that you are in the family photos, that their lives cannot go on without you and your team. That's how you make sure you're mission critical. It's through your relationships with the agency, it's through the relationships with your people, as well as coming to terms with what you actually offer. That's how you ensure you're mission critical. Now, there are some positions just by the nature of what somebody's doing. Like I said, janitorial, that may be a little more challenging, but again, it's not impossible. I close every one of my videos by saying everything is possible because I firmly believe that. I know that is created by God. Excuse me if I hit the mic. I know that everything is possible. I know this. So, what's key is constantly showing up and demonstrating to your agency that what you do is so important that they need you, even when the government's shut down. That's what you have to do. Because otherwise, we don't need you. We don't need you. Because during this time, when you have a stop work notice, nobody is getting paid. You're not getting paid. You're not paying your team. They're furloughed. They're furloughed. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Furloughed, AKA they're like temporarily laid off. Furlough is a nice way of saying deuces, Chris Brown, you're cut off. You're going to go, you're on pause. That's what it is. So I'm going to look at these comments here and questions that you all have. And I really appreciate you all being here. Appreciate every single one of you. So this is so funny because one of the students in my government con class, if the shutdown would affect the bidding and contracts, and I couldn't answer him. Now I can, thanks to the doctor. Yeah, you're welcome, Derek. Yeah, I mean, it does have an impact. It definitely has an impact. You know, some more than others, but it does have an impact. I was active duty in, I'm assuming AF Air Force, maybe. Or I probably have the wrong acronym. Finance during the last shutdown. Pretty weird times. Shakita, yes, very interesting. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it becomes really weird. People aren't paid. People are at home. I believe okay, good, Air Force. During the last shutdown, I think it was like almost 2 months. I remember they had the signs up from the different national parks, and you see employees chilling at home, growing out their beards and doing stuff like that. I mean, it's one of these things where, going back to my analogy with the roses, you know, a rose is so beautiful. Like, oh my God, y'all, like, look at this. Look at that. Just so beautiful, right? But also it has thorns. You know, I asked the florist, Wasserman's, to remove them. But guess what? There's still a thorn there, even though they removed them. Because with the beauty, you still have the polarity of a little bit of the pain. You can trim them off and do what you can do, but they're still there. They're there for a reason. They serve a purpose. And it's like the government. The government is beautiful. It's our amazing country. I mean, we all know, you know, it has its faults and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's what helps unite us. And it's beautiful. And the federal government always pays. It's one of the only places where you can win a contract like that and have thousands of dollars of revenue. You can go from one person on your team to 50 to 100 to 10 to 7 that are billable like that. It's the beauty of it. The beauty of serving different missions and helping amazing people. That's the beauty. Now, the thorns in government contracting, well, that's government shutdown. It's politics. It's executive orders. It's lobbying. Billions of dollars are at stake. Business is at play. We're involved in this political game. It's like we're all part of House of Cards without realizing we're a character in it. So, with all this said, the government's still beautiful, still amazing. They're still going to need our amazing services. Don't forget that. And our products, y'all. Don't ever forget that. That's right. Go Lions. That's right. Go Lions, y'all. I mean, I know we can do it. We got to take down Atlanta, y'all. We got to take down everybody. So I'm taking a look at the comments, and thank you all again for being here. If you're just joining, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks. This is Kizzy News Network. So for those of you just joining, quick recap. 1, if you have an 8A, please make sure you complete the narrative. Okay? For those of you who are like, what is an 8A? It's something you have to apply for, but right now the application process is locked down. It's shut. What else is about to be shut down and locked down is federal government. So everything by John asked, wait, so just to make sure, should we still submit? I'm shook. Yes, you still want to submit because the politicians maybe at the 11th hour get it together and we don't have a shutdown. So you definitely want to submit, but just be ready. I'm ready. We'll issue letters to our team letting them know that they're furloughed. And only my core team members will work, and they may be furloughed too. Because in your business, your government contracts, right? Your sales are helping pay for everyone in your team. So it's again the thorn of the rose, but the roses are still so beautiful that it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So please provide any comments, put any questions, because we got a lot going on when it comes to federal government contracting and news. Woodland K9, when do you think the application for 8A will be opening back up? Woodland K9, you know, I was hoping it would open back up after there was like a second hearing or meeting concerning the court in Tennessee and the company who initiated the lawsuit. Maybe they're still working out. I get the sense, and in case some of I don't have them here. Actually, I may go run and get them. But I get this sense that they haven't finalized their settlement. So for those of you who are new, or maybe you're returning and you're like, who is this beauty? Dr. Kizzy Park's been awarded over 50 million in government contracts. I'm also an intuitive. I mean, I'm not going to go into all of that. So please understand, when I say certain things, I'm not just pulling them out of the sky or my behind. These are things that I'm sensing and feeling. Okay. So just please note that. Please be aware. I watch your full video with David. Exceptional value. Thank you, Stefan. I love that. I love that you said that, because that video is gold. It's gold. And I may put the link on here. My whole purpose with Kizzy News Network is to push out the news to you and to answer any questions that you have. Kizzy Shopping Network is usually Sunday after 9. So that will be tomorrow. Yeah, because it's Saturday. I feel like it's Sunday though. That'll be tomorrow night. So I'm taking a look at some additional questions. Was looking up local contracts. That's a great thing to do. And that's another thing to do to help buffer, is you have state and local. Easier to read. I can definitely see that. Somebody else said, maybe what do you do when they give you a range for the value of the project? The values of this project is between 100,000 and 250. And Stefan James, you're welcome behind the scenes of how it works. I love that, Stefan. So hopefully I pronounced your name right. And this is a really good question for everybody. I get this a lot. You know, in the statement of work, in the opportunity, in the solicitation, in the bid for the federal government, it states, this project is estimated to be between 100,000 and 250,000, 1 million and 2.5 million. So then you think, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Think about it. When you go to buy something, somebody says, well, what's your budget? Are you giving them your true budget? If yes, type yes in here. If you're watching the replay or you're watching this live, type yes in here. If you're giving them your real budget. I'm going to turn this so I can walk a little. I don't see any yeses. And I know there's a little delay. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody gives the real budget. They're not giving you the real budget. My mentor gave me this tip. She said, Kizzy, I don't care, but she cursed. It was cute because she was like 69, 70. And she said, I don't care what the government says. They always want a discount. So it's like a suggestion when you see something like that, okay? That's right. No, we ain't giving them the real price. They're not giving us the real price, y'all. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Stefan, I got my first subcontracting providing cybersecurity services, and the Prive gave me 2 roles to fill. Excited, but have no idea the process to pay the resources I'm getting to fill the role. Well, Stefan James, you're at the right place. Let me quickly walk you through this. Number 1, you need to find out, and maybe you already know, how much are they paying you for the roles? How are you getting paid? When are you getting paid? Can you get paid early? How long is your subcontract? Do you have a teaming agreement? Do you have a subcontractor agreement? Do you have an NDA with them? Those are all questions you got to ask. Okay. Next, you hire the people and then you pay them accordingly. We pay monthly. It's your company. You can decide how you want to pay them. I once taught for a school and I think they paid me after I completed the course, which was like after 8 weeks. So if you have more questions, please ask and I'll provide some more detail. So again, for those of you just joining, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks. Thank you for being here. I just attended a wedding, but I had to come in and break this news about the government shutdown and how it impacts you and you and you and you and you. It impacts us. So those of you, and this is Kizzy News Network again, for those of you who have a government contract that where it's staffing or it's ongoing, don't wait to get the message, the email or phone call. Ask, hey, I'm just really curious, if the government were to shut down, how would this impact us? How would this impact the work? Ask. If you just won a contract, hey, I know we haven't had our kickoff call yet. How would or will the government shutdown impact this? Be proactive. There's nothing wrong with asking the tough questions. Every agency has a plan. They all have a government shutdown plan, y'all. Ask. Ask and you shall receive. So I'm just digging in my pocket because I have my trusty dusty phone here to look at the amazing questions that are here. So look at Shanae. What's up, Shanae? You're right. I'm the real deal. I'm not here to play around. I've been in this space for 15 years. I have dealt with several shutdowns. My favorite shutdown was in 2013. We had just won our very first $4 million contract. And guess what? The government shut down 2 days later. Crazy. Kay Blackman, I started in August, won first contract 2 days ago and second contract yesterday. Keep bidding. I'm so proud of you. And those of you who are winning, I would love to interview you. Chat at kizzyparks.com. Man, my face looks crazy, but hey, I took a photo of your comment and it's funny. Okay, having too much fun. So I'm so proud of you guys. Shanae just asked, how long can a government last and why does it happen? They're at an impasse with the budget. So right now they're fighting over, let me pull that up because we have exclusive information here. Let me get some good intel here. I know some of these situations are due to the student loan repayment. And I'll get into more in a second. In the longest government shutdown happened between 2018 and 2019. Oh, I remember this one. It's when the Democrats entered a standoff over the money for build that wall, build that wall. And it lasted for 35 days. It's horrible because if you receive a stop work notice, then you don't get paid. And also, my goal is not to offend anybody with what I just said about the building the wall. It's just, I want you all to understand the bigger thing that's at play. Politics, political messaging, everything that's out there Is that such a bigger thing? Okay. So this is not a take on my views about immigration because I have very extreme views, and but that's not for a YouTube channel. But I will say this: be aware of what's going on politically, be aware of the messaging that you come across, and be aware of which agencies are impacted by this. Okay. So please know my remarks were not to offend. So a lot of it has to do with student loans. Um, Let me see some other top issues that were there. I know the student loans is one of the biggest one. Yeah, the student loan repayment is one of the biggest. Now, there's other things that are at play, and also keep in mind who's striking right now: the auto industry. So just something to keep in mind. And for those of you just joining, you're wondering why I'm looking down. I'm just looking at my phone, and I adore and love each and every one of you for being here this evening. This is Kizzy News Network. We're talking about the government shutdown, how it impacts you. So back to Shanae's question. They're at an impasse. They don't pass what they need to pass. And lastly, it can last for as long as they want it to last. So, okay, Stefan, I got 2 rolls, $100 for each roll. I found the resources at 65. I have an NDA, blah, blah, blah. I have my resources to do a contract with my company. Great. So, Stefan, with the $65, does that include benefits, taxes, all of that? Number 2, make sure you know how you're going to get paid from the prime contractor. But this is amazing, and congratulations. I love that you got this. Adrian, I'm looking to get into government building inspections, wondering if you would know how they get paid, since after a couple of hours or days, inspectors are completed and filled. With the federal government, typically, if it's what I call one and done, you're paid after you finish the opportunity, they approve it, and you follow the rules and regulations for payment. But hear me out. Y'all following me? Let's say your positions are deemed mission critical. You go to pay. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get paid like that? Nope. Because the people who are involved in processing your invoices, they may not be mission critical. Your payment may be slowed. Kizzy, William asked, do you have a course on how to write proposals for government contracting? So I do. There's a course that I've offered for free. I'll extend it and offer it for free for anybody who you pre-order my book or you buy my David video on the middleman. I'm going to put the link in here for winnerswaybook.com. And I plan on extending this. Like you, I've been in the middle of bidding. I was working on a huge $1 billion opportunity. I have a recompete. I have a lot going on. So I have to build, and the goal is to build the most amazing courses for each and every one of you. And for those of you, there's been over 460 of you in that free course. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your comments and your feedback. Keep it coming. It only makes things better. So, and I'll put the David video in here too, which is an awesome video. It has the behind the scenes. It walks you through exactly how to do the middleman. And I'm going to give you all some tips too. These are very important tips for those of you who are bidding, and for, oh, thank you so much, Artworks. You're so sweet. For those of you who are bidding, you're winning, you're awaiting award. Okay? Be proactive. I like to use the analogy with my companies is we want to be like Tom Brady. Whether you like Tom Brady or not, doesn't matter. He's the GOAT. Okay, let's just face it. He's amazing. It's amazing. So I want to play offense. I don't want to be in the position where I'm like, I love my Lions, but damn, we always put us in these damn positions where we got to like win in the end of the fourth because of some damn special teams comes in, right? So we don't want to do that. Instead, we want to be proactive. You ask the question. You can even ask it in the Q&A. You can say, how will the government the looming government shutdown impact this opportunity? You can ask. They'll let you know. It's better to take the Tom Brady approach and play offense than be in the position of like, oh my God, I won. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, dang. Wow. Okay. It's the worst to be in because I've been there and done that. Okay, thank you guys. Definitely want your book, winnerswaybook.com. Thank you for answering my question. It's appreciated. Videos are priceless. Thank you, Stefan. You're so sweet. I'm a delusional Lions fan too. Listen, we're winning the division though. Kizzy News Network. I've been saying it. Won over 50 million in government contracts. We're winning the division. Those Packers, Bears, poor Bears. All of that going down. Stefan, nope, just 1099. Prime is paying me net 30. Okay, great. So that's awesome. 1099, I would pay my team every month. I pay them the month of. So let's say this is December, you pay them for all of December at the end of December. Okay. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate it. Okay. How does the government go about setting aside commercial products for an 8A company? Tucson Movie Corner. I haven't really seen them do that. Products, commercial products. Give me an example of a commercial product. Here's the deal. With the 8A set aside, once it's in the 8A program, it's supposed to stay there. So some agencies don't really like that. So they may not do it with commercial products. Can they refuse to set aside a project windshield because only a few, and yeah, they can definitely refuse. They don't have to set something aside. They're supposed to set something aside if the rule of two applies, meaning two or more of the same type of organization is deemed able to successfully complete the work. So let's say there's a source assault notice, 2 women-owned small businesses respond, they could set it aside that way. But remember, being a government contractor puts you in this whole world of politics. So there's more to it. Okay. Yeah, winnerswaybook.com, winnerswaybook.com. They will be shipped out probably in the next month or so, okay? So I appreciate your patience. That's what's happening. Rick, 77788, are we supposed to continue working the assignment even though we're not being paid? No, you'll receive a stop work notice. That means you stop. You know, like the Beyonce, everybody on mute. I'm practicing because I'm going to see Beyonce in a few days. So, I mean, seriously, that's what happens. You stop working because you're not going to get paid. Stefan, oh, great. So would you run payroll or just calculate their hours and pay them out ACH? We use bill.com. Bill.com. They clock their hours and we pay them in bill.com. That's what we like to use. You can use QuickBooks. You can use ACH. You can write a check if you want. We like using bill.com. Derek, do you have a course or curriculum that I could teach in my class here at the prison? I've created the curriculum, mixture of your videos and Dr. Caruana. Derek, I don't really how to best answer that. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know. So, yeah, I don't know. Good. Thank you for ordering the book and the video. They're amazing. If you have any more questions, please post them. I'm going to be on here a little bit longer. I want to get to bed a little early. I got a lot of stuff to do because here at the Kizzy News Network, it's a full-time job, y'all, making sure that you receive all the news that you deserve because this is the #1 source for all news for small business owners and government contracting. This is the #1 source. Okay. Can I middleman subcontract state and local? Yes. Where can I see the look at the limitations? Daryl, usually it'll be in your document. Okay. So I really appreciate every one of you being here. And I want to highlight the takeaways because I think we're pretty good with questions. Highlight the takeaways. #1, you want to be proactive. Right now is the perfect time. If you're bidding on something, submit a question, email or call the the point of contact, and ask them, if there's a government shutdown, how will this impact this work? That's all you got to do. If you have a contract, so if you are a subcontractor or a prime contractor, ask, if there's a government shutdown, how will this impact the work? The only people who are paid, during a government contract, during a government shutdown, are mission critical. That's it. And you want to make sure you receive something in writing that says your team is mission critical. I don't care if it's a text message, an email, a letter. I don't care if it's a picture of a letter. You want something in writing so that when you go to invoice, nobody says, whoa, oh, wait a minute. The government was shut down. How are you invoicing? Very important. Very, very important. The key to being deemed mission critical is your relationship with the agency and what you do. Period. JT City Girls, come on, you know I love her. So it's a situation that's a little tricky. It can be a little uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, the government is still buying. It's still a great time to bid because you and me, we don't know which government employees are considered mission critical or not, but the government must continue. So I'm going to see if there are any questions before we take off for today. Let's see. How do I order the book and the video? Oh, thank you. Yes, it's my little lovely dress. Winnerswaybook.com, winnerswaybook.com, and I'll put the video here too. It's $49, y'all. It's such a good deal. Chicago is a building, and thank you for this information. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Artworks. I always hear how sometimes you may have to find your project fund. Okay, got it. I've heard about factoring companies. What gives? So artworks, usually with a factoring company, they'll pay you a percentage and then they take a fee. So this is how I see it. It's called cost of doing business. It's something to either factor into your pricing or just be prepared on the back end that you need to expense. So if you don't have access to the capital, please use some kind of funding because you can't give a contract back. This isn't like how some people are with pets. You know those little raggedy people that get a pet? This happened after the during COVID. Everybody got their little pet and they're all petted up and booed up with the pet. And then we reopened and then they were raggedy and then just dropped off their pet. This is not how government contracting works. Please don't do those things. That's horrible. Okay? Horrible. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got this amazing makeup artist here named Kelsey here in Muskegon. Like she hooked it up. I'm so proud of her. Man, she did a really good job and was so fast, y'all. I mean, man, I'm gonna have to have her travel with me. She just doesn't even know. And that's something else I want to give as a bonus tip here at Kizzy News Network. You never know when somebody is really watching you. Here's what I mean. Okay. So I had this young lady do my makeup, right? She did an awesome job. I don't know who this lady is. She happens to be right down the street from me, which is great, at a salon. She was so good that I already know, okay, I would pay her to travel with me. I will pay her way more than what she's charging here in Muskegon. Does she know this? No. Does she know anything about me? Of course not. Just the person in her books. The federal government works the same way. They're watching how you respond to the shutdown. If you have a contract and you act all crazy, they're going to remember that. If you have a contract and you act with couth and sophistication and empathy, because don't forget, there are government people, military members who may not be deemed mission critical. So the last thing the government wants to hear is us complaining when their colleague may be at home and then they know they ain't getting their paychecks anytime soon. Okay, so this is a time for empathy. And this is also a good time to make sure you register to vote. I think it's important. If you can legally vote, you should vote. I don't care who you vote for or not vote for. This is why voting is important. Now, maybe you're somebody who believes voting doesn't count. Okay, whatever. That's cool. You can believe that too. I think it's important. I vote. I think it's important. Do what you need to do, though. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for being here. You should do a whole video on factoring. That's a good one. You know what we don't talk in depth, I don't think, about the payment. I do have an older video out on it. What's the best way to approach a sub if you're going to middleman? What's the name of the website other than Sam? William, what other website are you referring to? I see Gerald need more info on factoring. Okay, I love that. I love that. What's the best way to approach a sub? I was going to make a corny joke, y'all, but let me not. That means it's time for bed. Bed. Okay, here's the deal. Number one, you want to make sure you don't give them too much information. So I'm just going to use janitorial, okay? Let's say it says it's 35,000 square feet. It needs to be cleaned on once a week, and it has all of these requirements. You would give them that information. You can cut and paste it. It's best to call and email multiple times. Call and email. Hey, listen, I'm a government contractor. I'm new to this space. I would love to win this work, and I would love to be able to partner with you and have you provide these services. Is it possible that you could give me a quote? And I know you may be like, why do I need to give you a quote? Well, look, I'm the one over here. I'm in the government system. I'm going to submit it. And when we win, you will be paid to provide the services. You don't have to worry about doing any marketing. This is very similar to Amazon. No different, except you're not selling a cell phone case or a camera or a ring light. Instead, you're providing janitorial services. And I'm doing, a lot of this for us, right? I would love to be able to do this with you. And you give them a deadline, and you call and you email and you feel them out. Sometimes they may yell at you, they may hang up, they may not respond to you. It's okay. It's okay, because somebody will. If you watch my video with Angelica, she talks about that. She talks about how she called several cleaning companies, and there was one woman-owned business who really vibed with her. Okay, the next thing, look them up in sam.gov. Are they also a government contractor? If they are, chances are they may give you a higher price because they know they're going to bid. I slipped in win because we're winners, right? So please look into that. You can also ask, hey, I know I'm calling you. I may even be the 20th company to call, but are you guys bidding on this too? And lastly, don't be scared if they say, oh my God, you're the 20,000th person to call. Well, awesome. Maybe I play the lotto. Who cares? You're bringing them business. If they don't want your business, out. You're out. Deuces. Fuck that. Okay, I did slip up. Ooh, sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube. F that. Oh my gosh. That was intense. Oh my goodness. Please don't yell at me, YouTube. Okay. Okay. There's a couple more questions. We're going to get through this. I love you, YouTube. Family friendly. Does the information covered in your video with David apply to federal, state, and local? Yeah, it applies to everything. It even applies to if you're doing something on the private side. Thank you. Sorry about that, y'all. I got a little heated. Whew. Bidding on a medical contract, have a sub that will provide the nurses for the contract. What is a good percentage to pay the sub? Whatever works for you to have the profit that you want. That's the answer. I see one of your YouTube video where you talked about another site where we can find government contracts. Unison, gpo.gov, and dibs. Yeah, I'm really sleepy. I'm slipping up. What's up, government global resources? Yeah, I'm saying the F word. I do like to cuss, though. I'm not going to lie. Fun fact, my dad always enjoyed when I would cuss as a little kid. I don't know if something you should be cool with, but hey, it was. Here at Kizzy News Network, we keep it real. So I love and adore each and every one of you. How do I know whether you use a 1099 or a partnering agreement? A 1099 means that they're not an employee. A partnering agreement or a teaming agreement, usually you use before you win the opportunity. Okay, does that make sense? Unison, dibs, let me do GPO. GPO, GPO.gov. Here, I'm going to show you. Well, let me get this for you guys. Sorry for the dead air. So, GPO, it's the government publishing office, and they have a ton of contracts. And you can go to work with us, and then you go to vendors. Work with us, vendors, how to register. Okay. That's where you need to go. Very important. Okay. It's passion. Yeah. Thank you for ordering the book. SVSS Sigma in Michigan. Okay, cool. The Oracle in Detroit. Okay, awesome. Since it's the end of the fiscal year, is it possible the government is looking for company to overcharge them so they can get rid of their budget faster? I again, I don't feel like you're setting me up with that question. Let me put it like this. I've never had a contract where it was like, oh, Kizzy, overcharge me. Like, so I don't think so. That's all I got for you. Okay. The Oracle. Yeah. So the sites, Unison, gpo.gov, Fed, is it Fed Connect? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Fed Connect, SAM, and Pi and Wide Area Workflow are all free. Okay. These are all government, well, they're all sites that the federal government uses to post different opportunities. That's it. There are different websites you can go to pay. There's Dibs. Thank you for putting Dibs. I am not a Dibs person, but I know that many companies buy and sell on Dibs. Daryl, I understand the difference between the two agreements, but how would I know which one to use for certain solicitations? It has nothing to do, Daryl, with the solicitation. It has to do with you and how you operate your business. A teaming agreement basically says, hey, we're going to come together, and in essence, we're not going to partner with anybody else. That's the teaming agreement. A 1099 is, hey, Daryl, I want to pay you to do my website. You're going to be a contractor. Hey, Daryl, I'm going to pay you as a 1099 to provide janitorial services. Hey, Daryl, I'm going to pay you as a 1099 to provide facility management. So that has to do with the financial arrangement. You may already know that you're going to 1099 the people, but you need to win first before any of that happens. Anytime, Ken, that's right. What was the last site you mentioned? It might have been, was it Pi, P-I-E-E, Wide Array Workflow? Here, I'll put it in here. And for those of you watching the replay, I am doing my best to make sure I put all the links in here that I mentioned. Once we pre-order the book, in what format? Jay and everybody else, you will receive an email during normal business hours, and it's a classroom that's in Kajabi. So here's a tip. You must use your computer, and not every module is a video. Please note that, okay? So again, I love and adore each and every one of you. Thank you for being here with me. It's Kizzy News Network, #1 source for all federal government contracting news that impacts us, small business owner, okay? So regardless of what's going on politically, take care of you, your health, your wealth, connecting with your spiritual being, your whatever spirituality means to you, your family, your business. You continue bidding, you continue winning. All you have to do is bid, 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 y'all. Bid, bid, bid. Bid, bid, bid. That's all you do. Because despite what's going on politically, whether the government shuts down or it doesn't, they still are going to buy things. Okay? We don't just close everything and then it's like nighttime, right? No, it's not that. It's not that at all. So again, I thank each and every single one of you being here. Please like, please subscribe, please hit that notification button, please share. Also, and I love that Josu, I feel like I butchered your name, wants to collaborate. I love that. And also, for those of you that haven't yet, please feel free to join my community. Provide any hot tips that you may come across. 305, like Mr. Worldwide, 305 853 9481. 305 853 9481. Okay? So keep bidding, keep learning. You're going to win, win, win. That's what's going to happen. Until next time, everything is possible. And I have to walk over there to end this. So thank you. I love and adore each and every one of you guys, okay? Don't forget, Kizzy Shopping Network coming up soon. I love and adore each and every one of you. Each and every one of you are amazing, amazing. Everything is possible.